scores! What a goal! I'm the broadcast voice of the Fuel, Andrew Smith, proud to be joined today by the owner of the Indy Fuel, Jim Hallett, and the head coach of the Fuel, Duncan Dalmao. Jim, first of all, we'll start with you. A great finish to last year. How much has that built momentum coming into this season as we prepare for the 9th year now of the Indy Fuel?
It was a great finish, Andrew, and I think we could really see it. Our crowds were really building during the end of the year and continued to build. In fact, I would say going into this season, Duncan can talk more about the players, but a lot of players coming back, a lot of names you'll recognize. But from an organizational standpoint, our ticket sales are up considerably. Our season ticket sales are up. I think there's a lot of demand. There's a lot of enthusiasm. And I'm very, very optimistic with the program that Dunks is putting together here.
Well, it's the 9th year as well of the franchise. Over those years, how much have you seen this team become more and more entrenched in the city and building the Fuel brand from not just the ECHL level, but from youth hockey on up?
Yeah, I think one of the things I'm probably most proud of is how we built the brand. I think if you ask most people on the street today, have they heard of the Indy Fuel or have they been to an Indy Fuel game? It's amazing how many people will respond positively. So it's the brand is good, the organization is good. Now, as I often say, it's our turn to win.
Well, we talk about winning, and Coach Dalmao, a good finish to last season, as we just mentioned. How much did that build into the offseason and really build some momentum, some positive momentum coming into this year where you can hit the ground running?
Yeah, I think Jim touched on it. Obviously, the returnees or the players that obviously are back from last year, are still riding high on that. So definitely excitement over the summer, definitely excitement just before starting training camp, whether they were attending American League camp or coming straight here. The guys are definitely excited to be here. And so in a league where there's a lot of turnover, whether it comes from, trades, guys getting called up or different contracts being signed or going to Europe, to have as many returnees as we have, we're obviously blessed, but at the same time, we've obviously been doing something right from the hockey ops standpoint and obviously from the organizational standpoint.
Well, you mentioned the number of guys. We're looking around the room, and almost all of the names are people who are familiar either because they were here at some point last year. They finished the year with the Fuel. In the case of Alex Weidman coming back to Indy after a couple of years in Europe. How important is it to have a core of players that are familiar with each other, familiar with the way you want to do things, and therefore you're able to really hit the ground running as we start the year?
Yeah, it's really important. And, I think the part that shouldn't be lost is the quality of people that are coming back as well. And yes, they're fantastic hockey players. Obviously, a guy like Jan Mondat, Spencer Watson, Brian Lemos, Keone Teixeira, I can go down the list until, we're run out of tape here. But those guys are all quality people on top of being good hockey players. So when you can carry that standard forward and that's what you're starting a year with, everyone knows what the expectations are. Everybody knows the capabilities in the room. So it's easy to come in and ask for those things, or it's easy to come in and set a bar at a certain level when everyone's on the same page. So, the benefit of that is obvious. And, we're like I said, we're really lucky, but, it's clear that things are going in the right direction.
You mentioned the high character guys. There's a lot of people either here or in junior or in college. They've worn C's and A's on their uniform. And how important is it to have really high character, high quality guys who have been leaders at different steps in their hockey careers in building a good culture here?
Well, it's massive. Obviously, we try to do that. That's the goal of any coach. But if you have the players carrying that torch for you on a regular basis, day to day, when you're not around, and they're the ones setting the example, whether it's at practice, in the weight room, at player appearances, at the apartments, or whatever it is they're doing, that just makes everyone's life that much easier, and it makes the organization that much stronger. So, when you can send a bunch of guys out in the community without any worry about what they're going to do or how they're going to act, and that they're going to represent your organization the way these guys already do, that there's no amount of money, there's nothing that can obviously replace that, or there's nothing that could there's no value you can put on something like that. So, and we're blessed with that, and we as a staff and as an organization really appreciate that from our guys.
When we look at players, you've got a line intact that was really red hot at the end of last year in Jan Mondat with Brian Lemos and Spencer Watson, and guys that complement each other very well. And you can really look down your lineup and you've got a little bit of everything. You've got playmakers, you've got snipers, you've got power forwards up front, and defensively, you've got a really nice mix of players, especially some veteran players that all bring some different things. And how nice is that for you as a coach to be able to mix and match and be able to put guys out in situations that benefit them and with players that complement their skills?
Well, the best part about it, when you have a line like Brian Lemos, Jan Mondat, and Spencer Watson, is the fact that you have that line that's in your head, and you're definitely not going to mess around with something that's got that good of chemistry. So it makes my life easier, because then I'm free to take the other 6-9 guys that are available and try and find something similar in those guys. So when you have something like that, you can kind of fall back on. It's always beneficial. Makes my life a lot easier. And I know we focus a lot on the forward group, but our D group is substantial as well. We got guys that can move the puck. We got guys that are big and strong. Obviously, that can be physical. And you know what? Any good team, as anyone knows, can play any type of game you want. If you want to play a skill game, I think we're able to. I think if you want to play a physical game, I think we're able to. So when you can bring that to the rink on a regular basis, you can do that every night, then you become tough to beat. And hopefully we can get the chips, to fall where they're supposed to. But the pieces are in place and are intact for a successful season.
We'll go back to Jim for this one. This is our 9th year as a franchise. It's also our 9th year with the relationship with the Chicago Blackhawks and the Rockford IceHogs. How important is that relationship, not just on the ice, but also off the ice for this franchise?
Well, listen, I think it's a big deal. I mean, they are able to supply talent for us, and with Chicago this year especially is in a rebuild mode. They're rebuilding, as we all know. A lot more talent coming in to the camps, and hopefully that'll reflect well on us. Hopefully Chicago will be able to have more impact in terms of what they contribute to the organization this year as well. So I think that's exciting. But, listen, Chicago is original 6, right? It's just a great team to be affiliated with. We like their colors. We like their goal songs. We like the fact they're the original 6. We like the people that we work with there. They've been very supportive. They've been good people, and it's a good organization. And they have an opportunity to not only do well themselves, but they have an opportunity to make us better.
The importance of that relationship, and as well for us to send players up to them and give them opportunities at the next level.
Yeah, I mean, it's a developmental league. The bottom line is that's what it is. But we also want to win. We want to be successful, not only for the organization itself, but for the fan base. So we try to, if you can try and combine all those things and get them under one roof, then you're going to be successful over the course of a season. But the best part about Rockford and obviously Mark Bernard and what he's done in sending players to us over the last while here is he not only sends us good players, he sends us quality people, and he doesn't unload problems on us. He sends us players that have something to offer that might not be as polished as they need to be to play at that level yet, but he sends them to us to get them to where they want to be, or the type of player that they want to be at that level, and we do a job in developing them and making them the players that are going to be successful in their own career as well. So we get guys sent here all the time. They are very fantastic people. The message is always the same. Our job is to help them get where they want to be, and their job is to contribute to our success while they're here. And when it's a simple formula like that, it can't go wrong. Except if we're sent to, like I said, people that aren't of good quality character. That hasn't happened. I don't see that happening with Mark Bernard at the helm.
Something that you've always had a reputation for, even before coming here, is being a skills coach, working with players on their individual games. And because there's so much emphasis on not just winning here, but also developing players so they can achieve their dreams, whether that's the next level, getting obviously to the National Hockey League. How important is your role in working with guys to develop their individual games and the details that allow them to adjust to pro hockey and take their game to another level?
Yeah, it's vital. And the staff here has done nothing but, obviously help them. Myself is just one part of it. Kevin Moore, our assistant coach, fantastic at what he does as well. He contributed at all kinds of different levels. Our equipment staff, whether we need training aids, whatever it is we need, whenever it is we need it, they're always around to do what we need and supply the players with what they need to be successful. So, the skills aspect has become just as important, let's say, as the physical and the training aspect, in a sense where you lose some skill over the season if you're not working on little things as we go. So we offer that to our players just for basically maintenance purposes. And then for some guys that want to improve on little things or things that they know that they want to kind of, add to their game, or they think that could help them stick at the next level or get to that next level or even stay at this level. Our motto and our sayings to them are always the same. You're never going to hear no from us. We're always going to be around to help you. We'll always do what we have to get you what you need. And that is not only, the guys that are on the ice. That's a collective organizational type motto, and it's an organizational type, situation. So we pride ourselves on that. It's something that's very important. We want players to leave here better than they came here. And I think we've done that over the last few years, and I think we'll continue to do that.
Jim, as we look forward to this year, as an owner, what are you looking for? What are you hoping to see as the next 6 months unfold?
Well, I'll repeat a little bit about what Dunk said. First of all, we made the decision to put Dunks in as head coach with 17 games left in the season. I think we wound up winning about 12 of those games. And we come very close to making the playoffs. We missed the playoffs by 3 points in total, and we give it a real good push there in those last 17 games. And I think what Dunks has done is he's really been able to create a culture here. It's not just about having a winning culture and a team that can go deep into the playoffs, but it's how you go. And he talks a lot about the character in the room, how people handle themselves, not only here in the dressing room and on the ice and with our fans, but how they handle themselves at the apartments and at the fuel tank and on the street and in the community, and the things they do to support the community in terms of charity work, visiting the children's hospital and things of that nature. So, it's about a complete culture. And what I witnessed last year under Dunk's leadership is I really watched the organization come together as a brotherhood. These guys were really, really close. And they were close as brothers could possibly be. And I think when you create that kind of culture where you look to your left and you look to the right in this dressing room, and you actually love that person, you absolutely care about that person, then it's amazing what an organization, that kind of energy that gives to an organization, and the energy and how you can take that to the ice and really put a good show on for the fans. Obviously, we want to win. We want to win every game that we can possibly win. But we also want to give the fans a great experience. We want the fans to come here. We want it to be affordable. We want it to be fun. We want a good game day experience. We want the players to be able to interact with the fans, whether it's to get in a picture, getting an autograph, or getting the puck tossed their way. Whatever it is, we want the fans to have fun. And obviously, I'm very biased, but I think it's a great ticket. It's affordable, it's fun, and I think it's exciting, and there's a lot of energy in the building watching the Indy Fuel play hockey.
Well, Coach, we'll come back to you as well. What are your goals for these next 6 months, and hopefully longer, but as we get into the season, what's your outlook for the year?
I'd say we probably haven't looked that far. I mean, for us, it's been a point of emphasis of getting off to a good start. Then it's positive. It's something you can build off right away. Nothing's worse than starting the season and you're kind of already in a hole, and you're kind of looking up the standings rather than looking down, or at least to your left and to your right. So for us, it's just about putting the pieces together, finding that chemistry, finding the things that make us successful. Putting everyone in the proper roles to get them some personal success as well as team success, and getting off to a good start so that there's some wiggle room at some points in the season when things don't go our way all the time.
Indy Fuel owner Jim Hallett, Coach Duncan Dalmao, thank you so much for joining us today, and good luck throughout the year.
Thank you.
Thanks.